I really think that everybody is assigned a certain amount of energy every day. And let's just call it 100 units. You get 100 units of energy, and there's certain that are going to be just required to function. Like I think there's, say 50 units that are just assigned to running body processes, to digest things, to get up, to move around, to eat, to forage. I mean, all of those things. That's what it requires to start functioning. Then I think we have a certain allocated energy units for our work, for our relationships, for our for our hobbies, and basically for downtime and recovery. And like you have to have a little bit of energy and time to actually rest. I had a patient discussion today about someone's on it all the time, doing it. I could not literally let up just a little bit. It kind of made me feel like I was talking to me. Maybe this is what the universe was saying, but literally they were so focused on always having every minute being productive and every minute having something in it, that when there wasn't anything to do, that they felt lost or that they felt off kilter. That is how I felt a lot of times. And I'm recognizing, that sometimes you can get your body in a position where you can't sleep, and you can't relax and you can't unwind, because we have literally kind of an adult onset of attention deficit disorder that we have created. One of the biggest causes of that is this wonderful, horrible device here, a smartphone. And we have to have times to where we have to disconnect. And I think it's really important for your mind to free associate by not having too many things pile up. I really think this is a good thing to do. Now, I am trying to do this. It is really important to have downtime, scheduled downtime, to not do anything. I recently read a book. I mean, it's been about a year ago, called The Comfort Crisis. And the Comfort Crisis was saying, like, if we don't schedule time for our mind to not do anything, what happens is we get addicted to constant stimulation, which causes stress and anxiety and sympathetic dominance. Sympathetic dominance is when we're always telling our body, go, 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 go. We got to fill up. If I don't have anything to do with this time period, I feel less effective, or I'm not working very well. And so we really need to have downtime so that we can rest and recuperate. And so that was one of the things that I want to share with people. When people say, I want a recipe for health. Here's a recipe. Basically, our habits are making or breaking us. And even though we aren't designed, like we haven't designed, I'm going to be busy all of the time, that's naturally what happens to people. Or we get caught up in comparison syndrome. And comparison syndrome is the thief of life and the thief of joy, when we start comparing ourselves to either who we think we should be. So we're really hard on ourselves, or if it's a friend, if it's a cousin, if it's a family member, oh my gosh, I should have that life. When maybe what's happening is God's given us the life that we're supposed to unravel and solve, and some other things. So going back to that recipe in health, here's the recipe: is as much as possible, we're going to get our bodies set on a schedule. And the schedule is literally making sure that we have time for relationships, we have time for sleep, we have time for recovery. You can't run the airplane 24 hours a day. Periodically, it has to get serviced. And so that's one thing. Then the next rule is healthy and alive foods. It makes us healthy and alive. So when we cheat and and I need myself to hear this, when we cheat and we run on, we get something fast, cheap, and easy, you are what you eat. And so are you fast, cheap, and easy? And so many times people say, well, I don't have time to, eat healthy, or I don't have time to unwind. I don't have time to exercise. I don't have time to sleep. By the way, I've telling this to myself many times. I'm a lot better at 51 than I ever have before. But I do want to just remind people, like, when you say that you don't have time, what you mean is, I'm going to pay the hospital system, the doctor system, I'm going to pay for it later. And we have those certain amount of units of energy. And if we use up all of the energy, we go over our allocated energy, we're just borrowing and taking energy either from the end of our life or from our health that's going to make things spiral. So what I'm trying to say is one of the best keys to health is to get into balance. And again, there's certain rules that you can't violate. The rules are making sure that we get enough water. And unfortunately, I've had people out there saying, I don't like water. And so what can I do besides water to get things in the system? And I tell people, look, jokingly, like I guess we could do an enema, or the second thing is, um, we can do, infusions and stuff like that. But really, what we have to do is we have to teach ourselves to like, or at least put up with healthy water intake the best we can with relationships, which I feel is one of the biggest challenges in life. Is making sure that we are investing in those relationships, that we're getting a return on investment, and that the relationships that are toxic, or you put an investment of time and resource into those and you're not getting anything back, is there any way that we can put parameters